Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy 3Stacks in this thing, and good morning. It's been quite a while since I went over my meta-analysis and also an update. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let you guys know exactly based off of my research what the top 10 decks are currently as things are, and I'm basically not shaping up for December, but also moving on to next year before the next set comes out. This is what I think. And what I believe based off of what I've seen in the representation that will be the top 10 decks. After I share this information with you, I'm going to actually express myself about this format. So starting at number 10, this was a tough one because the number 10 spot had a lot of rogue decks that could have took it. Dinos could have took it. Dark Magician could have took it. Blue Eyes. Creative decks. I just wanted to say creative decks could have took it, but Paleozoic is at number 10. Paleozoic has had like an all-time downfall ever since Evenly Matched was printed. And Winter Cherries is not as prevalent in that matchup because most people don't have Toad for their cherry target anymore. You know, because Paleo is so, it's kind of like underwhelming, I guess you could say. It really hasn't had such high representation as of lately. It hasn't gotten as many tops as it used to. I think Paleo was topping more when we didn't know what to play, and this was before Double Helix was legal. So everybody's like, what do I play? So it was like Paleo, ABC, you know, Trickstar. That was the thing. But Paleo is still nonetheless a very, very powerful deck. It's a strong contender. It does have, you know, issues with a lot of staples that are out there like Denko Seika, Twin Twister, Galaxy Cyclone, Decree, Royal Decree still exists. You know, Evenly Matched still exists. You know, Winter Cherries for the Totally Awesome still exists in the deck. It really does have a harder time going you know, second sometimes. You know, I wouldn't say like it's horrible going second, but when you're going second and you're setting 5 traps and passing, you're basically playing 2 turns behind, in my opinion. Especially if your opponent has a card like Time Pendulum Graph to, you know, pop one then send one to the grave, Spiral Sleeper to destroy 2, or if they're playing Trickstars and they don't care about your back row, you know. It doesn't make sense. But I think nonetheless Paleozoic has been always a strong deck. And it always and forever will be one of those decks you just can't sleep on and underestimate. But nonetheless, it's not strong enough to beat basically any of the other 9 decks that I have on my list. At number 9, we have Magical Musketeers. This deck really let me down. If you look up, I might put the link in the description box below. I did a meta-analysis a month ago, and Magical Musketeers I don't even think was on my list yet. Instead, where the slot Magical Musketeers should have been, Lightsworn was on that list. Funny thing, I called it in October that Lightsworn, you know, they can do so much just like Spiral. This was said in October and like, bam, it happened, right? It was almost like a prediction. But yeah, Magical Musketeers take number 9. I have an issue myself with playing the deck because if you don't open with a Musketeer, you draw dead spells and traps. And that's one of the things. It does have consistency issues because it has no spell or trap that searches for the monsters. You have to hard draw them. So you're playing at luck, and most people play such a small lineup. And once the things get going, you know, once the engine gets rolling, it's really nice. It's like a control deck in its heart and soul. And it does very well once it opens up, but it struggles going second. And it relies too much on its normal summon. And although you can take in cards like double summon, nonetheless, it still relies too heavy on its normal summon. So if you can shut that down or even destroy the monster responding to the summon or just solemn warning it, you know, it kind of sucks, especially if your opponent like solemn strikes your Casper or, you know, just negates it flat out. It just hurts a lot. But nonetheless, Magical Musketeers, they can perform well if given the right setup. But the thing is, the deck basically has to play with no interference, and that kind of sucks. And because every deck's playing Disruption, whether it's hand traps or real traps or, you know, their main deck Disruption that's part of the archetype, Musketeers just can't do too well right now. But somehow, some way, they might break the top cut one day. And then number 8, we have Infernoids. Infernoids are pretty savage. I'm not going to lie. When I think of that deck, I just think savage. They're really scary. It doesn't matter what deck here is on the top 10 list. Infernoids can outplay them just regardless. If they get the right opening, if they open with Feast and Arvada, it's really, really detrimental to any deck's playstyle. Just if you think about a cumulative advantage, that deck slowly just creeps over other decks. It just kind of slowly but surely, it just takes your resources and gets you to that point where you're top decking, and it's like, I have a grave full of Noids, I'm ready to kill you. It's a really strong deck for so many different reasons. It does not struggle going second whatsoever. It's one of the very few decks on this list that can go first or second and still do its job. And it cleans things up well. It's like, man, it's like a lawnmower. It just cuts the grass. It's really dope. It runs everything over. I feel like Infernoid might have one bad matchup, and that's Invoked, because they can banish their strongest, monsters from the graveyard before they get a chance to summon them. But Decatron's such an unfair card. And the fact that Infernoid can open up with Arvada and, double Decatron and still have Ash Blossom, still have Droll in hand, that's a lot of problems. And if they have a strike face down, that's horrible. Like, how are you going to play through that? And if you do play through all that, how are you still going to make your own board with 2 cards in hand? Excuse me. And then at number 7, we have Dracos. Pretty much every Draco variant. Dracos haven't topped in so long. I have this strong glimmer of hope that Diagram's not going to get banned. And neither is Masterpiece. It might not even get limited. It's like Konami only hits cards that are just doing too good. That's why they had an emergency ban list for Spirals. They were doing too good. They were too on point. They were just murdering people, but Dracos haven't been seen anywhere. They're just gone. And some people think, the deck's bad. It's not worth it. And I don't know who's sitting here saying Masterpiece is bad, but Dracos are just out of the picture. And I'm kind of happy because the deck I play right now is a Draco variant, and it happens to do pretty darn well. It's really consistent. But I feel like Dracos, they don't really have a bad matchup. I guess their worst matchup is hand traps. Ogre for the Diagram. Droll for the Terraforming, Ash, those cards. But aside from that, there's really one deck that can outperform the Masterpiece on its own, and that's Pendulum Magicians. A simple Skullcrobat Joker normal summon to search Purple Poison and activate Purple Poison in scale can out the Diagram and the Masterpiece simultaneously. And if you think of it, Skullcrobat Joker is an auto out to Masterpiece because he searches the Purple Poison, which bam, right there, that's your combo. So Joker's the answer to Masterpiece. Isn't that hilarious? Like, a powerful monster like Masterpiece can be destroyed by a simple normal summon of Joker. Most Pendulum Magician players don't even really pay attention to that. Me personally, I play Dracos against Pendulum Magicians, and I've never seen them do that to me. And I'll always be sitting there scared, like, dang, I gotta save this Ash sometime for that Joker, or I have to find some way to deal with that Purple Poison, because if I don't, he's gonna kill me with it. But then he never does. I'm like, okay. But yeah, Draco variants definitely take number 7. They've proven themselves in the past. And then in number 6, we have Burning Abyss. It hasn't topped. I don't think it did top at YCS Prague, but Burning Abyss kind of already asserted themselves, like, hey, we're here. You got to pay attention to us now. You got to start playing Dante as a winter trades target. Even if you don't think we're going to have a high representation and you don't expect to see us all over the place, trust and believe we're here. And you're going to catch one of these hands. Trust me, like, you might not expect it, but you're going to run into that Burning Abyss player, and you're not going to be ready. I love you. You are not going to be ready, man. I'm telling you, BA is one of the hardest decks to grind with. It's so annoying, trust me. Playing against BAs, dude. Like, if you can winner trades the Dante, you take away 2 problems. Dante and also Beatrice. But you still have to worry about the actual Burning Abyss monsters in the main deck, the floodgates that they can play, the back row hate, the hand traps that they can still main, and they don't lose to hand traps, dude. I think the worst thing you can do to Burning Abyss is Ghost Ogre the Dante, which that does hurt. Technically it does, but Dante still gets something back. It's so annoying. I don't think Gamma does much to the deck. I don't think Drill does crap. I don't even think you could Ash Dante. I've never tried to, but I honestly don't think you can Ash him because he has to mill as a cost. So there's like no hand trap that hurts the deck except Ogre. So it's like, if you're going first against that deck, you didn't get a chance to side deck because it's game 1. You have a handful of hand traps. Burning Abyss has just killed you because you have useless cards in your hand. So Burning Abyss definitely takes number 6. They asserted themselves quickly. It was just like a hype that just didn't die. And then at number 5, we have ABCs. ABCs have already proven themselves over the course of almost 2 years now. I'm not looking at ABCs just like right now, in the Master Rule 4, Link format. I'm thinking of ABCs like, dude, this deck just won't die. It's like Burning Abyss, but not as old. It just keeps topping. It doesn't go away. ABC is just a deck you just You have to respect it. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, man. It's like your old grandma that you don't like, but she's always there, man. I'm telling you, ABC's just not going to go anywhere. And Destrudo's a thing. ABC Draco's a thing. There's a lot of splashability in the deck, believe it or not. Because to me, this is the ABC engine. 3 Terraforming, 3 Union Hangers, A, B, and C. That's the deck. Everything else is it's your mind. You can create the deck how you want it at that point. You can play every trap if you want. You can main the artifact engine if you want. You can main all the hand traps if you want. Think of it. You can play 2 A's, 2 B's, and 2 C's if you want. 3 Terraformers, 3 Union Hangers. That is 12 cards. You have 28 slots open for creativity. You can play the gadgets if you want. There's so much you can do with the ABC. It's kind of like Trickstar, and it's kind of like, I guess one could say like, what's another deck that has a really small engine? It's like Trickstar, and then it's like Invoked. You know, their core engines are so small, so minute. You can fit just redundancy. The most stupid cards ever. Stupid in a bad and a good way. Stupid, bad for your opponent, good for you. ABC has just asserted itself. It's proven itself for so long. There's no reason why I wouldn't get the top 5. So this is the top 10, but right now we're in the 5 slots. And then for number 4, we have Lightsworn. Lightsworn was on number 7 in my list back in October, and Lightsworn hadn't even topped at that time. It was just because I played Lightsworn for a long time. I played against it for a long time. I know what it can do. And if you open up correctly, even if you don't open up with Ash Blossom, if you just open up correctly, they can downright make like triple Omega on you. They can break your board going second. They can make a board that you can't break. What's wrong? They can just crush your dreams, man. They can really murder you. Lightsworns are dangerous, dude. I think of Lightsworns and Infernoids kind of like the same. Not combined, but separately. They're scary. It's like you don't know what they're going to do. And if they get like stuff like Snow and Grave, if they get Mizuki and Solitaire, that crap is scary, man. You got to understand. It's scary. Because sometimes you can't do anything about it. And it's like, you have to deal with it head on, and then it's like, head on, dude, are you kidding me? They're about to rip cards out my hand, and I need these cards. Lightsworns are just crazy powerful, man. They're dominant. I think pure Lightsworn variants are really powerful too. One with a minute, compact, like a small zombie engine and not taking it too far, which takes away consistency sometimes, will be nice. Just like 3 Solitaire, 2 Unizombies, and, you know, 3 Mizukis. I think that's perfect for a zombie engine. Maybe 1 Guzuki added in there. Don't take it too far on the zombies, though. You can do that. Maybe splash in 1 Spirit Master. After that, I really think you should focus more on the Lightsworns, too, dude. Like, stop calling Lightsworn decks not like... They're not Lightsworns. Like, he's like, I run triple Raiden, and I run 3 Wolves. This is the Lightsworn deck. This is not a Lightsworn deck. This is a deck playing a Lightsworn engine. You might as well just call it Zombies with the Lightsworn engine instead of calling it Lightsworn Zombie. Dude, that's not a Lightsworn deck. Lightsworns are way better if you play them with focus more on the actual monsters. I'm telling you, the Twilight Sworn monsters are amazing. I love you too. Judgment Dragon is insane. Punishment Dragon's insane. Some could say, oh, I don't want to play that. Dude, you can play so much in Lightsworn deck. You can play Orbital Hydralander if you want to. You have Snow to fix your graveyard. There's so much more you can do with the Lightsworn deck. I feel like even though it's topped, there's a lot more potential that you can play. There's so much more potential cards. There's like so many bombshells, dude. Like, you have so much power plays, man. Like, so much. Not even just Left Arm and Grass. Not even just Sure Knight Solitaire. I'm talking about the actual Lightsworn monsters. They are just blowouts. The milling spells, recharge and charge. How are you going to play Solar Recharge if you're not playing off Lightsworns? I feel like the people that are playing Lightsworns need to, like, open their eyes to see that Lightsworns theirself, the actual deck, is freaking dope. I'm telling you, how are you going to play Minerva if you're not really going to draw? Like, Minerva is an amazing card if you're playing Lightsworns. If you're playing 6 Lightsworns, you're never going to get value off of Minerva. You might draw 1 card. You're never going to destroy cards when she's destroyed. Lightsworns take number 4, even though I still am very, very upset at how people are playing decks and calling them Lightsworns when they're really not. I'm sure a lot of people can agree with me on that. Number 3, Trickstars. Ha! Some people are thinking, Trickstars take number 2, right? Wrong. The reason why Trickstar doesn't take number 2 is because I gave Pendulum Magicians number 2, but we'll get there when we get there. Trickstars were like, out of nowhere, they just started tearing it up, man. If I cussed, I would say they were effing-ish up. They were just booty raping everybody. Candina had a strap on, and she was not playing no games, and she had Vaseline. Dude, she had... Man, I'm telling you, she was taking Viagra because she was raping everybody. And then Licorice, they were double teaming people. Matter of fact, Lilybell, they were running trains on people, bro. I'm telling you, Trickstars were not playing no games whatsoever. That deck is savage. It is savage. Me personally, I never really liked it. I played Trickstars for 2 days. Learned how to play the decks. Learned the OTK with Firewall Dragon and all that. And I sold the deck. Picked it up again, sold it the same exact day. I got bored of them. And it was like, there was a lot of creativity. I did like 5 different Trickstar builds before I got rid of them, but still it's like, this is a really simple deck. I feel like Trickstar is really powerful, but because it's so simple, anybody can play it. That's what makes it annoying, because it's like, you're like Sheen from Jimmy Neutron. Your head is swelling up, it's this big, and you think you're a freaking genius because you're winning with Trickstars. Anybody could win with Trickstars. Nobody is so dumb that they don't know how to set reincarnations and summon Licorice and burn you and take your hand away at the same time. It can be used in a smarter way. You know, one could be like, I'm going to wait for you to search, you know, off your terraforming or off of your actual field spell, and then I'm going to take away your hand, or I'll wait for you to search your harmonizing magician, then I'll banish your hand. Nonetheless, Trickstar, out of every single deck, it's almost more simplistic than ABCs, and ABC is literally its name. ABC is that simple. It doesn't make sense. But Trickstar is amazing. It really is. It can go second. It can, because you can make the deck built for 1 second. You can play the board wipes. Where's Dark Clone Raigeki at? Why they ain't getting no love in the main deck? I made those cards. I can play evenly matched, obviously. And the engine's so tiny, you can just turn Trickstars into literally an engine and make the deck just a bombshell deck. You could be like, I want to play the most powerful cards that exist in the game right now. I want to main them all. Like, if I was playing Trickstars, I'd be like, I'm playing all the Solemns. I'm playing probably some Storm and Mirror Forces. I'm playing evenly matched in the main deck. I'm playing the Artifact engine in the main deck. I'm not worried about Link summoning that much. I might play 2 or 3 Scapegoats. I'm playing still the Trickstar engine. I'm playing every single hand trap I can get my hand on. One hand trap the deck doesn't play too well is Cypher and Gamma. Because for the most part, if it's not terraforming or light stage, it's like that's the only time you can activate Gamma, because the deck needs its normal summon. And that is the actual weakness that a lot of people don't really pay attention to. Strike murders that deck. If you strike or warning Candina, they're done for the turn. They need another light stage, or they need a hard draw another Candina. Candina is the actual engine of that deck. Without Candina, it's like normal Licorice. I'm trying to burn you at that point. And then you have Lilybell without Candina. You're like, ooh, I hope I draw you. But if I draw you, I can't special summon you, you little thought. But Trickstar is amazing, man. It really is. I feel like they need to like calm down on it, you know, and take the dildo off and stop raping people. But still, Trickstar is just annoying, man. It really is. The Joel and Lock combo is still there. It's still at full power. Konami might hit the deck because it's doing really good right now. And I think the reason why it's doing really good is not because in comparison to other decks it beats them. It's because its Spiral matchup is just amazing. Spirals made a lot of decks stronger because a lot of decks are stronger against Spiral. If Spiral didn't exist, a lot of these decks wouldn't be as good as they are. But it's just like, they're good because they can beat Spiral. Put it that way. And then number 2, Pendulum Magician. 3 stacks. Why'd you put Pendulum Magician at number 2? Dude, Pendulum Magician proved itself way longer than Trickstars ever did. It's like been a while. Because I'm thinking back before the Pendulum Evolution support, I'm thinking just overall since Pendulum Magician has existed, it has been a freaking monster of a deck. It's always been dominant. I mean, before Odd Eyes Magician was a thing. It's just such a strong deck. And when Pendulum Evolution came out, it's just like, first people were like, oh man, this ain't doing nothing, Master Rule 4. And then this one crazy savage is like, I don't care about Master Rule 4. I'm going to play this deck. And then everybody else flocked to this guy like he was Jesus and started copying him. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Pendulum Magicians are a deck. And they're dominating. Why? Because the deck has no bad hands. Why? Because everything's at 3. Everything's searchable by another card. That's searchable by another card. That's searchable by another card. That just, it's so annoying. It's highly susceptible to draw. But also take into consideration, because everything's at 3, most of the time you draw the cards you need before you even have to search them. So it's just a really strong deck. You know, it doesn't open with unbreakable boards, but there's a way that you have to go about picking the board apart, because if you don't, it'll gain resources as you're trying to take it down. The graphs are the problem. Time and Star are that deck's fuel and engine and power. Outside of that, harmonizing. Those 3 cards together are mighty. They're like super dope, man. That is just a really nice setup. Joker's really cool too. You know, I feel like that deck is just way too consistent. And granted, yeah, it, like I said, doesn't make unbreakable boards. It's just like it always opens up the same, almost like Zodiac. And then when you're trying to break the board, it's accumulating advantage over you slowly but surely. It's just such a powerful deck. It's kind of like, it does remind me of Zodiac. I really have to just keep referring to Zodiac because it's just really so consistent, and it just like, it does what it does so well. It's topped so long, even if it had 2 slots in, I believe it was YCS Prague. And in YCS Dallas, it had way more tops. It tops every YCS. There's never an event that Pendulum Magicians don't top. Trickstars just recently started topping the way they're topping. Pendulum Magicians been at it, bro. Even the Apex Avion build, they've been at it. Pendulum Magicians never stopped. They've been on the high horse for a very long time. It's only making sense that they're kind of slowing down. But well, I don't understand why people saying, oh, Pendulum Magicians are slowing down. They're not that good anymore because one event happened where they topped not as much, but still topped. That doesn't make sense. You have to view it from a grand scheme of things and change your matter of perspective, not just to, oh, this one event. It's like, for example, Invoke was hype, right? People are like, Invoke is the best deck right now because it topped one event. Stop it, dude. You have to consider, what if the person playing that event just got the best matchups ever? What if he played Rogue all day until he got to the top 2, you know, until he got to his last 2 rounds out of 9, and 7 rounds were Rogue decks. The last 2 was like, oh, I played Pendulum Magicians and Spirals. And it was like he could have won X2 and still topped. You feel me? Like, you have to factor in all these things. That's why when I say a deck is in a top cut, I don't think of it like, oh, that one event, it topped, so it's in the top 10. Now, I think of it overall, like, how has this deck been performing since it's released into the TCG? Pendulum Magician's been raping people too. They got the dildo strapped on hard. And of course, number 1 is Spiral. A lot of people said Spiral's not that good. Dude, I forgot what video it was, but when the day of the ban list, when Spiral got hit, Drone got hit, Set Rotation got hit, Quick Fix got hit, I forgot what video it was. I was like, I don't know what y'all talking about. Spiral is still the best deck. Just because they can't machine dupe, that don't mean nothing. Because 2 Spirals on board, that's still the same thing. I don't even want to talk about Spirals because everybody hates that deck. But obviously, it's number 1. The representation is there. They prove themselves. Outside of the top 10, though, this is a very, very diverse. It's a very, very diverse format. It's really fun, too. This is one of the most creative and just fast-paced metas I have ever been in a while. The last format that was like this, I think it was the Metalful, ABC, Blue Eyes, Paleozoic, and also Dark Magician format. It was like 5 different decks that were really good. And then you had those Rogue Magispectors creeping in. Before that, I think it was, because before that, it was the big 3. It was BA, Monarch, and also, yeah, baby, I want to bite. And I think also,
just take the rest, man.
What is it? BA, Monarch, and Cosmos. That's right. But the True Draco Zoo format, that format was horrible. Because that's what it was, True Draco Zoo. That's all it was about. Like, it was like True Draco Zoo and then Dino. That was it. And it had people feeling like, if I'm not playing these decks, I can't win. And I didn't play those decks. I still won. I run Yang Zings, but still, it was like one of those formats. It was like, this is really boring. This format is crazy. Dude, you have to think about how many decks are top. There are so many creative there's like a Shut-All Dino deck. It was like a 60-card deck. Dude, there's like a Grand Manju Banishing card deck that topped. Not topped, I'm sorry, played and did really good. And it's like so many different diverse decks that people are just trying out, you know, like a Spiral Magician deck. Dude, this is one of the most diverse and creative formats ever. There is no one deck that's defining things. One could say, oh yeah, it's Spiral, but Spiral be losing, bro. They be losing too. They're not like, oh my god, so good. Now, they took that hit on the ban list and it made them calm down and just chill out for a second so other decks can have a chance. And it's like, this format is really, really fun. A lot of people are saying, oh, I hate this format. It's a hand trap format. Dude, hand traps have always existed. You know the reason why hand traps are being played so heavily is because of Spiral. So if y'all want to be like, oh, this format's so boring, I hate it because hand traps make things boring. Dude, you can thank Spirals for that. because they're the reason why we are all playing hand traps, and we don't care because hand traps are fun to me. It makes the game state so simple. It's just like, it comes down to this. You're not about to blow me out the water. It's not about to be a one-sided fight. It's about to be back and forth, and may the best player win. Now you got to use your brain cells. Now you have to use your skill level. It's not just, I drew these cards and I win. It's, you drew this and I drew Ash. So now you need to calm down and think about how you're about to play, because I'm ready for you. Hand traps are awesome. I don't care what anybody says, hand trap format. Okay, before we were playing hand traps, like, think of how the format was. It was like a diagram format. It was like a Zodiac Mirage format. It was like a True King of All Calamities format, dude. And it was like, because hand traps weren't so prevalent, cards like that were running rampant. If we played hand traps back then, True Draco Zoo probably wouldn't have been as dominant as I was. If people were playing Droll and Ash and maining Gamma and, you know, maining Ghost Ogre, stuff like that, dude, it would have been different. But I think even if Spiral leaves the picture, hand traps need to stay. They deserve their recognition. Hand traps are awesome. You know why? Because it makes it fair. So does Evenly Match, the best hand trap of the format. But those are my thoughts. I think this format's awesome. It's fun. I'm trying to make it to Shreveport regionals. I'm trying to make it to Las Vegas regionals. If y'all are going to those regionals, you'll catch a boy there. And trust me, I'm going to top, man. I got to redeem myself after getting X3 at YCS Dallas. That was the last event I went to. But yeah, you're definitely going to see me, trust me. And I'm playing that True Draco, True King, Spellbook, Invoked, Artifact deck, because I like to make a bunch of engines work. I'm that guy. God bless you guys. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. For honorable mentions, there's a lot. But I think the biggest shout out I want to give to is to my Herald of Perfection deck. It's just so amazing, dude. That deck, it can be any of the decks on the top 10 list. It's just like, people don't really think the deck can do good because hand traps are around. But then I always say hand traps beat every deck, you know. I think every deck except Burning Abyss really does lose to hand traps. Oh, okay. And also, yes, thank you for reminding me, baby.
Excuse me.
I forget to tell you guys, but we have an Instagram page. Look, I don't really pay attention to a lot of stuff because we have a Facebook page too, but I never tell you guys about it. But oh, 52 followers. That's pretty nice. Yeah. You can definitely look up our Instagram page, and I gotta work on that right now. My girlfriend is actually monitoring that page and keeping the content consistent with it. But
it's at Team King of Games.
Let them know, baby.
Excuse my phone. It's like super cracked, but I don't really have very much content because I don't know what to post. But follow him and I'll follow you back. Hey. I run the page. I run the page, but he knows of it. Yeah, she's got it. But yeah, those are my thoughts. If you guys think this is an awesome format, definitely let me know. If you feel like it's a Spiral format, change your perspective, because there's a lot of decks that can do damage, and there are a lot of decks that have done damage. But with that said, I think I made this video long enough, and I'm sure you guys can all agree. I'm going to go ahead and sign out. I love y'all. Y'all definitely have a wonderful day, and you will be hearing from me soon. Good morning and peace out.